Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Chase. Welcome back to a brand new video, and I know I said I was never gonna voice my opinion on the competitive scene ever again, but I mean, some people on the Discord server really wanted me to do this video, so I figured why not. I mean, I'm just gonna lay down some things, lay down some professional players or high ranked or, you know, just well-known YouTubers' opinions on what's happening currently, and we're just gonna analyze what's going on with Siege and what this could mean for the future of Siege. So we all know that I actually left Siege recently and came back after about 3 weeks to just see what the new Ying buff was like, you know, Jaeger nerf, that kind of thing. But before I left, I basically said that the changes that they were making to the game were just not something I liked, and, you know, I didn't really even want to see what the Jaeger nerf or the Ying buff would end up being like. With the changes that they were making to the game, I really found it hard to enjoy Siege and truly see a future in it as a content creator, because I felt like a year or two down the line, this would not be a game that would be that popular. But to get some negativity out of the way, I hate to be negative throughout this whole video. I just want to praise Ubisoft for what they did with the Legion nerf. I really thought that the Legion nerf was going to bring in some really good, you know, updates to the game where they recognized the issues with operators and then would fix them. Legion, they fixed perfectly, and if you look at the most recent graph, you know, Legion is very close to being balanced. He's actually very close to the middle of the pick rate and the win rate, so that's really good. That was a good nerf that they made. However, you know, around April 1st, they came out and sucker punched the community with an update. You know, like I said, I really thought after this Legion nerf it was going to lead to some pretty good changes coming to the game, and then, you know, they hit us in the face with the Jaeger nerf. And don't get me wrong, Jaeger definitely needs to be nerfed, and that's not something I'm going to ignore, but I don't think this was the correct nerf to give him. So many pro players actually expressed their opinions and basically said that no one requested for his speed to be nerfed, and a lot of the community agreed with him. I don't think anyone has ever said Jaeger doesn't need to be a 3-speed. I've always loved since release that Jaeger has been a very good roamer because, you know, he's that go-to. But the problem is when you have someone who's such a good roamer and such a good fragger in Jaeger, he has also some of the best utility in the game. His ADS gadget is one of the best things to ever make it into Siege. Like, let's be real, there is a reason he has been meta since his release, except for those few months after the ACOG was taken away that he really wasn't good and they increased his recoil. But for a majority of this game, Jaeger has consistently remained at the top. So although I am completely glad that Ubisoft nerfed him, I don't think it was the correct nerf, and if they're gonna stop listening to the community on this one and just ignore what we're saying and begging for, you know, I think that kind of doesn't put them in a good light with the community. I've actually consulted with a lot of people on the Discord server who absolutely agree with me and say that this is one of the worst seasons of Siege yet. You know, Yana and Oryx are perfectly fine in my opinion. I think they are fabulous operators. I think they are super fun to play, and I think they will be good for the meta. A good example of that being Yana. She is very useful in the current meta because of the amount of intel that she can provide for the attacking team. Essentially, unlimited drones is always going to be a good thing. We can also point out things such as the Ying buff, which absolutely no one asked for. Back in the day when Ying was released, she had smoke grenades and the candelas, and I'm gonna be honest with you all, she's even more overpowered now than she was then. Back then, her gun wasn't that great, but now it's an absolute laser. She also now has an extra candela than she did then, and yeah, it's reasonable why so many people are complaining about it. I 100% get it. I've never seen someone take a site quicker than Ying because it's so easy to. Just run down there, throw your smokes, throw your candelas, lay down the bomb, because, you know, the enemy team just can't see you. Now, we can talk about this as an indirect buff to Warden all we want, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think we should be buffing operators and making them almost a must pick so others have a high pick rate. Do I truly believe that this was solely to boost, you know, Warden? Yes, 100%. I mean, why else would they do this? The community didn't ask for it, the community didn't want it. However, something the community has been wanting was the Warden buff, and, you know, I guess this is the way they did it. I gotta be honest with you guys at Ubisoft, if you're watching this video, I want to apologize, but you're not doing a good job of, you know, keeping a good standing with the community. When one of the biggest prodigies to ever come into the Rainbow Six competitive scene in Bolo says that he is not having fun playing this game and it is difficult to like this game, you know, there's an issue. The next thing we're going to be addressing is the fact that they haven't really cared about us begging for new guns in a long time. The last time we got completely new weapons was all the way back in Burnt Horizon. It's kind of funny to think about that. If you don't count Cali sniper rifles, since all the way back in Burnt Horizon, we have not received new weapons. That's a whole year without new weapons in the game, and a lot of people have actually defended this by saying, well, it creates balancing issues when you have too many guns in the game. But right now, we're seeing it blow up in Ubisoft's face, and all the people have been arguing that's face when, you know, they've nerfed the TCS G12. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely an overpowered weapon. However, the fact is, they did it to kind of nerf Goyo, but it will also end up hurting Kaid as well, because Kaid has the AUG A3, which we all agree is one of the worst weapons on defense. Like, the thing is literally so slow. So Kaid is going to have an amazing gadget and two weapons that aren't that great anymore. I'm not going to spend too much time on that argument because I think Kaid and Goyo will still be fine. However, down the road, this could definitely mess up some issues. I think a better example of this is when they buffed Nook's FMG9, and they really meant to do it for Nook to make her a better fragger, but in the end, I think it fared better for Smoke. Don't get me wrong, if you use the shotgun on Smoke, go for it. I mean, it's an amazing utility shotgun, but since they did that, I've seen a lot more people running the FMG9 on Smoke because it's a whole lot more viable gun. So all because someone is underpowered and their weapon kit got a buff, another operator who is balanced or really good in a good player's hands got buffed because they didn't want to implement new guns for each operator coming into the game. Okay, so now I think we should clear the biggest elephant in the room, and the fact is that Valorant is coming up as one of the biggest competitive games, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna lay it down right now. I personally am not a fan of the game. I think it is very boring, and it is very comparable to CSGO and Overwatch. However, with every new and up-to-date competitive shooter that comes out, more and more people will be drawn away from the one that they currently play, and a lot of the Siege community is actually digging Valorant. I think that it's a little bit too early and far-fetched to say that Valorant will kill Siege, because if it's going to kill any game, it's going to kill CSGO, because those two are much more comparable. This is a topic that a lot of you guys have wanted me to discuss, and I'm going to be honest, I just wouldn't fear Valorant that much competitively. I don't think it will kill any game, but instead just add to how tremendous the competitive gaming scene is starting to grow. So yeah, it comes down to, is Ubisoft going to listen to the community, and is Ubisoft going to actually make good changes to the game? It's not looking good, I'm going to be honest with you guys, but I believe in Ubisoft. They got the Legion nerf right, so they're going to get something right down along the line, and we can just hope. Like I said, though, this was a lot of pros' opinions and a lot of high-ranked players' opinions and YouTubers' opinions that I just wanted to discuss and throw into a video because you guys wanted this. Comment down below what type of video you guys would like to see next. I will upload CSGO, Call of Duty, or Siege. I hope you join the Discord and have a great day. Peace.